Hey guys, Danny here. Welcome to my ramblings. So, I'm supposed to be getting up early because I managed to get 68th in line for Dashlink in the morning, so never done it, but we're gonna try it out and see how it works out. Hopefully it's decent. Anyways, so I'm laying here calming myself down by watching some TV, and I'm gonna go to sleep. And then this pops in my head, and I thought, I'm gonna throw a video out there because I wonder if anybody else is as curious as I am. So, I'm talking about criminals, criminal cases in our justice system, our court systems. Do you realize that the fact that we give plea deals to murderers, rapists, and child molesters, that all other crimes are like, well, they get to plea down to a lesser charge? We're definitely going to be able to. Do you think that that's going to cause criminals to go, well, shit, I don't want that to happen? You throw the maximum. You start throwing the maximum at these criminals, and I assure you that you're going to reform some of them because they're going to be like, fuck, I don't want to have to serve that. There's no negotiating. Yes, you can negotiate under certain circumstances. That's originally how the plea deal was. Long time ago. Long time ago. Plea deals were rare. They weren't common like they are now. Now plea deals are on everything that involves criminal. And I'm not saying that, you shouldn't give people the benefit of the doubt or whatever, but you're making it so that you're not holding them to the fire and saying, hey, you're gonna get the maximum if you do this. Instead, you're saying, well, we'll give you we'll give you the lower part, and we'll make a plea deal with you to a lesser charge, maybe lesser time. If you're making deals like that with murderers, rapists, and child molesters, any other criminal that doesn't do those three things is going to look at that and go, those are the three worst fucking crimes. If they can plea bargain, then my case can plea bargain. This is going to be a walk in the park. They'll get a couple of years. Big deal. Stop giving everybody plea deals. If you stop giving everybody plea deals, how many more people are going to go, fuck, armed robberies, depending on whatever state you're in, to say 6 years, to 10 years. The judges just turn around and say, nope, 10 years. The judge and the jury make the decision. The jury decides if they're guilty or not, and the judge decides the sentencing. Start giving them stricter sentences. And I guarantee you that some of those criminals are going to go, fuck, everybody's getting the maximum sentences all the time. I'm done. I'm out of this game. Can you not see how that works? Is it only in my head that it makes sense? Because I look around at the world and I'm like, this makes absolutely no sense to me. We want to complain about the criminals, but our justice system is negotiating with them. That's what a plea deal is. You're negotiating with a criminal. They broke the law, and you're negotiating with a criminal. Do you hear how absurd that sounds? You're negotiating with a criminal. I get it in certain cases that they probably won't get the charges to stick on something more, and they take a lesser charge. I get why they do those ones. But not all cases are that. Plea deals are handed out way too freely. Start pulling them back. Judges start giving maximum sentences and watch the crime rate change. Am I the only one that sees it this way? I don't know. In my head, I can see exactly why we've got the problems. We didn't have plea deals that they gave out freely all the time. Now they do. Take back the plea deals being a free reign to negotiate with criminals. Which then brings up another point about about interrogations. I'm trying to think of how to put this so it makes sense. So, when an officer, any officer, I don't care, any enforcement, FBI, police, detectives, homicide, I don't care what kind of officer you are. You're an officer. You're an enforcement officer. Interrogations. Here's what I don't get about interrogations. So I get that the interrogator has to be manipulative if they're dealing with a criminal that's manipulative. That makes total sense. You got to fight fire with fire if you're gonna take control of the situation. I get that. I understand that. That's totally understandable. But what about people who aren't true criminals and the police treat them as if they are? Can you not see that that is abuse to those people? If the person they're talking to is not manipulative in any way, shape, or form, or don't quite understand manipulation, you're abusing those people you're interrogating. I don't understand. I watch all this stuff and I see these confessions and you can see they wear the person down. The person did not have the knowledge of manipulation like the interrogator did. That's abuse, dude. The interrogator does not have the right to manipulate somebody. You only have the right to play the manipulation game if you're dealing with a criminal that's being manipulative. And you don't even have to know if they're a criminal. You're going to know they're being manipulative. And if you don't know how they're being manipulative, come talk to me because I'll tell you exactly how a manipulative person works. You should already know it, though, because you're an interrogator. But if you're interrogating and you're using manipulation tactics on somebody that is not a manipulative person or doesn't understand manipulation, you're abusing those people. And the truth is, that goes against the man upstairs. That's bullying. Prove me wrong. So what we should take away from tonight's episode is that if you're a judge or anybody else or a prosecutor, stop hating out the plea deals. Start giving them the maximum. You'll cut down on the criminals. I assure you. And if you're an interrogator, don't manipulate the ones who aren't manipulative. You're abusing them. It's okay, mamas. You're abusing them. Stop abusing them. What the hell's wrong with you? You know how to manipulate, so you know what a manipulator is. Stop abusing the ones who aren't. That's just being a bully. And that's what you should take from tonight. Sorry. My big dog has bad dreams sometimes. I'm petting her now. She'll calm down. I'll pet her and tell her, it's okay, it's okay. And she'll calm down for a little while. This goes on, not all the time, but every so often. More than I think most people would like, but she was a stray. They don't know. Somebody at some point had to teach her had to teach her commands because I tell it to her once. I tell it to her like twice, and she's got it. She's an extremely smart dog, extremely manipulative too, but she's got these bad dreams she has every so often. And you can tell that it's causing her distress by the way that her body's acting and her 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 snout is and everything. It makes me feel bad for her. I want to take those bad dreams away, but I don't have the ability, so I just give her lovin's and help her relax, and then she'll go back to sleep. Sometimes it doesn't happen again. Sometimes it's multiple times. There's no rhyme or reason to it. But that's who she is. And the truth is, if it weren't for my animals, I don't think I'd have made it through the last 5 years of my life. They have been my biggest supporters and the biggest source of comfort for me. Anytime I was upset, they would come and try to be cute and make me happy. Anytime I was crying, they would come and just cuddle with me. They would all surround me. They've just been they've been my saviors. I don't ever see my life without animals since I've been able to have animals as an adult. I've pretty much always had an animal. I might go a small period of time without them, but I will tell you, it doesn't last long because I need my animals around. I need those connections because those connections are unconditional. That's unconditional love. And that's why I'm able to go out and give unconditional love to other people, because my cups are overflowing. So when I go out and I live my life, I share my happiness, my smile, and my joy, and my love and kindness with everybody I encounter, because I have so much to share with people, because I get overfilled with my animals. So animals, I'll never be without an animal ever again. I already know that. I gotta have an animal. More than likely a dog. I've had cats. I've had cats and dogs together. Well, hell, we've had a snake and a turtle. Turtle didn't last long. The snake did, but I ended up when it got too big, I ended up having to give it away to a sanctuary because it would cut off the circulation in my arms and stuff when it would slither around me because it was just so big. And if I didn't have somebody else there, it could have easily the snake could have easily choked me or killed me. So I had to make the decision that there was not always somebody around, and the snake didn't get the attention that it was used to, and it wasn't fair. So I just decided I'd give it to a sanctuary. I was very, very sad when that happened. I didn't want to give her up, but the bigger she got, the more the people I were living with didn't always want to have to hang by me when I took her out, because I couldn't be left alone if I took her out, and I took her out all the time. She was always, since she was a tiny snake, she was always around my neck. She used to intertwine her tail in my bra strap every time, and then slither through. She loved my hair when it was long. She'd slither through my hair. Gentlest snake. I never had any issues with her. She was a beautiful snake. I don't know if it was a she, but we called her Queenie. My kids were little, they named her. And so Yeah, I've had fish. I'm not a huge fish person. I just don't like having to take care of the tank. It's just, it gets a little out of control, and then it's a pain in the butt to get back under control, which is kind of funny because when I owned my house, I had I had a diving pool, and you screw up the chemicals on that, that's a lot of work too. But I never. It's funny because I never considered it work with the pool. I loved taking care of the pool. I loved having the pool. I remember when we first bought the house, everybody told us that we'd only use the pool for maybe 2 or 3 years, and then we'd never use it. That was BS. We use that thing all the time, all the time. I would go float out there on Saturday mornings, reading my chapters for my schoolwork for when I was in college. The kids were always in it. We threw pool parties all the time. I mean, it was basically the focal point of our lives. I mean, we lived in that backyard most of the time, and it was amazing. But I just didn't want to deal with having to. I think I didn't want to have to deal with the chemicals because there was living beings in that water. In a pool, there's no living beings in there. So if I screw it up, then no being's gonna die. And I did screw it up a couple of times. I turned it milky white. My kitchen window was like 3 feet from the steps of the pool in the shallow end. And I looked out that morning when I was getting my coffee together, getting ready to go to work, and I look at the pool and I'm like, why does it look like my pool's filled with milk? And I walked out the back door and I looked at it and I'm like, oh God, that's weird. Why does it look milky like that? It was white like skim milk. And so I grabbed a sample, and if you grab a sample, they tell you that it's best to put it in the deep end. So I went down to the deep end and did it how I normally did it. And I took a sample from the shallow end too. And I stopped up at I don't know if they even have them anymore, but it was a Paddock Pools that I went to. And I went to them because they didn't just do the little dipstick things. They did a computer readout. So it gave you exactly what you did wrong and told you how to fix it. So basically I had too much free chlorine. And I didn't realize that I needed to take the floater. So I had the D&E filtering system, and it was all on a timer. So my filtering system ran in the middle of the night while everybody slept. And in the summer months here in Arizona, it gets so hot that I would have to put a chlorine floater in the pool during the daytime. Otherwise, the chemicals would get all messed up in the heat and the sunlight. But I didn't realize that I should have pulled it out for the winter. So I kept it in, and it ended up turning my pool milky white. And 12 to 16 hours after doing all the work, because we had to pour in so many gallons of muriatic acid, and then 2 hours later we had to add this, and 3 hours after that, but no more than this many hours from the first thing that we did, we had to do this. It was a 12 or 16 hour process, all at specific increments. So we got no sleep that night. I was with my second ex-husband. We took turns with it so we could sleep. And and yeah, we learned a lot. We learned the hard way when we had the pool, but I don't miss the house. I miss the pool. So Yeah, that's why I was okay with doing the pool, but not with the fish tank, man. I screw up those, I could kill a being. That just wouldn't work for me. Yeah, I've had kids had a chinchilla at one point. Um, I don't think they never had hamsters or gerbils or guinea pigs or anything like that. My mom had a guinea pig that the kids were around when they were little, but mostly we've had cats and dogs. Um, and then a few of the other animals that I've said, the chinchilla, the snake, turtle. The turtle was I was a night manager at an apartment complex, and when somebody would ditch out on their rent, they had to wait X amount of time after they after they posted a notice or whatever, and then after that I'd be given the access to go in and verify that nobody was in there, and the place was cleared out. If it wasn't cleared out, then I had to let them know it wasn't cleared out, and they took care of it. I didn't have to do anything. I just had to go in and check it at night. And I went into the one, and there was this turtle. There was no electricity in the whole apartment. It was 100 and some odd degrees outside. It was hot in that apartment. It wasn't horrible, but it was hot. There's no electricity. I don't know how long they had been gone. It had been more than 5 days, and this poor turtle was he he looked like he was on his last leg. His tank, the water was so nasty. I was like, this can't happen. So I took him out, and I took him to my place to clean him up and and get him fed and everything. And I let management know. And then at that point, they said that I could keep him. Well, I didn't want to keep a turtle. We had a snake and I think 3 dogs at the time. And I was like, I don't need another animal to take care of. So we ended up giving him to one of the no, we ended up giving it to one of the kids' teachers for a classroom pet. That's what we did with him. Uh, I remember that now. Oh God, that was so long ago. But yeah, those were a couple of things that just popped in my head, and I thought I'd share it with you, and then I went off on my little ramblings. But that's why it's called Danny's Ramblings, because I can ramble on and on and on. And I'm perfectly okay with it. Anyways, I gotta get sleep. See if I can get some Dash Link tomorrow. Never done it. We'll see what happens. If I don't make it, then I'll just do it. Then I'll just do it tomorrow or on the next day. It's not that big of a deal. Uh, Anyways, have a good night, guys. See you in a little while. Love you. Bye.